topics Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton touched on last night was national security. Trump discussed what needs to be done, while Hillary said what she wouldn't do.
But whether we like it or not, there is a problem. And we have to be sure that Muslims come in and report when they see something going on. When they see hatred going on, they have to report it.
It's also very short-sighted and even dangerous to be engaging in the kind of demagogic rhetoric that Donald has about Muslims. This is a gift to ISIS and the terrorists, violent jihadist terrorists. We are not at war with Islam. I would not use American ground forces in Syria. Donald says he knows more about ISIS than the generals. No, he doesn't.
He and I haven't spoken, and I disagree. I disagree.
You disagree with your running mate?
I think we have to knock out ISIS.
Joining me right now is the former U.S. ambassador to the UN, American Enterprise Institute senior fellow, and Fox News contributor John Bolton. Ambassador, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. Glad to be with you.
So much to discuss this morning, whether it's borders and vetting and Muslims, or how he disagreed with Pence. Let me first get your thoughts, your reaction overall from the debate last night.
Well, I was glad that national security made a cameo appearance, but really very little, and really was the subject, I thought, where the moderators went off the rails, most particularly Martha Raddatz, by actually arguing with Trump about what we should say about our military plans. But, you know, the debate itself now pales into insignificance before this incident this morning, where the Houthi rebels in Yemen have apparently fired 2 missiles at an American Navy warship. This is the real world. This is what's going on while we debate a lot of frou-fra. And I think it's something, actually, the American people are out ahead of their political leaders in Washington on. They actually think the president's main job is to keep the country safe. And I am hoping that the third debate will finally pick up the slack here and we can get a real debate between the 2 candidates.
Yeah, I mean, that story this morning, which I want to get to, in terms of the U.S. Navy destroyer and 2 missiles fired at it. But did it bother you that, as it related to Syria, Assad, and ISIS, that it seemed like Donald Trump didn't agree with his running mate?
Not in the slightest. You know, it's only in the pretend world of politics that everybody's in total agreement on one side versus everybody in total agreement on the other side. I've sat in the Situation Room and listened to presidents disagree with vice presidents and their secretaries of state and their secretaries of defense. That's what a good administration does, is provide the president with alternatives. Right. So if anybody thinks this is going to be an issue, really, they should think again.
Sagan.
But, Ambassador, Trump was talking about Bashar al-Assad in Syria, saying that he's been busy fighting ISIS, which we know he's really committing genocide against his own people in Aleppo. So when Donald Trump talks about foreign policy, do you think he still needs to bone up a little bit?
Well, honestly, I disagree with both Trump and Pence on Syria. The issue in the Middle East is not the Assad regime. The issue isn't even really ISIS. The issue is Iran and its path to nuclear weapons and its effort through the Assad regime, through Hezbollah, through Hamas, to gain dominance. The missiles that Iran supplied to the Houthi rebels are the ones that were fired against the U.S. destroyer. And let's be clear, the real-world impact of this, if they can close the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, or at least raise insurance rates going through there to the Red Sea to the Suez Canal, think of the economic impact that will have. This is the real world that we need to talk about. Yeah.